Welcome to the Redvee TV Instant Fan Reaction, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2022 season, following St Helens' 14-10 victory this evening over the Salford Red Devils at the Totally Wicked Stadium. If there's any such thing as a bad win, Kev, that was it on what could be a very, very costly night for us.
Yeah, that's it. I think we've got away with one, though. I genuinely think that Salford probably deserved the win. I think so. I think they were the more inventive side. I think they had more players who stood out, and I think they were unlucky with that last kind of play where they've ended up knocking on, albeit great effort from Morgan Knowles to get back. As you say though, costly. Johnny Lomax going off injured is a massive loss. Potential bans. Look at Ben Davies. You look at Mark Percival. That's not a good night at the office, is it? No.
And it was almost... Johnny Lomax got strapped up early in the first half on our try line, played on, and then seemed to aggravate it a little bit further on in the tackle. Potentially a torn bicep. We won. We're allowed to blame him. Potentially a bicep injury, which, if it is confirmed, could be a couple of months.
Yeah.
Will Hopewati picks up a hamstring, looks like early in the first half, but carries on for the entirety of the game. Obviously, listen, he's put his hand up and he's got through the game for us and stayed on and tackled well defensively. But in attack, it left us down to 12. I think we watched him in the second half. He touched the ball twice, literally taking two play the balls. He's been asked to stand up by the coaching staff, obviously. Is it a case of we either didn't have any other bodies able to go out there, or is it potentially, with knowing what the injuries we've got and he's potentially not going to be fit for next week, you'd ask him to stay out there and do a job and protect others. But yeah, and we've just been chatting to Paul Nolan, big Saints fan, and he summed it up for me. You now go to games more worried about who's going to be banned for the following week rather than actually enjoying the game, because every high hit, every missed time tackle, every push in the back, you're looking at half your salary cap being sat out due to the disciplinary. And listen, are these not occupational hazards of this sport?
Yeah, they probably are. I mean, obviously some bans are warranted, but I think we've said this in the past, when you re-referee a game, is that what we want? Is that what we want? You do want to see the best players out there. You don't, and that goes for every team. You want to be paying your money for your season ticket, and you want to see the best players out there. You don't necessarily want games re-refereed over and over again. It is a worry. I think, as I mentioned earlier, that Ben Davies could get a ban for a tip tackle. The Mark Percival incident, which we've seen quickly once from 100 metres away.
It looked innocuous, didn't it?
Yeah, I didn't think there was much wrong with it, but we're 100 metres away. It's tough to call, especially without the multitude of replays on the big screen. But yeah, it is a worry, but they are occupational hazards, and you're always going to get bad challenges, or challenges that, as I've just said to someone coming out, challenges that we've not even seen in the game that are going to get re-refereed. If they're dangerous, yeah, obviously you want them doing.
The things that the opposition don't even complain about sometimes. Like that one at Cast last week on James Bell. There was no mention of it in the game. Nobody complained, and you see a 2-match ban off the back of it.
But before the season, they said they were going to clamp down on them. And as I said to a couple of people, if he raps, we're not having this conversation about James Bell. If he wraps his arms, but he's not. Is it dangerous because you're causing a whiplash thing? You're looking at, obviously, the RFL and Super League having one eye on all the cases of dementia that are coming through, and people who have had head injuries. You're looking at all them, and they've probably got one eye on them, and are trying to make the game safer. But let's not sanitise it too much.
Exactly the way I was uses it's sanitising it too much. Back to tonight, I thought things got missed quite a bit. Obviously, Salford's first try. Salford in attack, they put a high kick up. The Saints player completely gets barged off it.
Ben Davies.
Ball bounces, Salford get the ball back and get a repeat set. Missed by the referee. And then I didn't think he grounded it. I thought he dropped it as he was going over the line. We'll have to see that one again. But they had the rub of the green for a while, and we looked a little bit lethargic, I thought. Considering we had a week off, we didn't look like the side who had the energy out there.
Yeah, it was almost one of them playoff games where you've rested everyone and you're just trying to get them back up to full speed again. And I guess you might ask the question in a bit about the Castleford game. And we look slow. Listen, I'm not going to talk too much about individual decisions like that. Let's look at ourselves here. 3 yellow cards in the game.
Well, one of them was. Two of them are stupid, aren't they? The ball, the first one for Wellesby, comes off the advertising order, and it comes back to him, and it's just reaction, just booted in the stand. I said if it's a full stand, the ball gets thrown back and nothing gets said. But because it's an empty stand and the ball sits there, you get a yellow card. I'm being a bit pedantic on that, but yeah.
You have 3 yellow cards. There's listen. It's discipline still. If you're giving the referee, I keep saying this time and time again, if you're giving the referee a decision to make, and you've got a certain type of referee who will make them decisions, who will back himself, and won't just turn around and say, you know what, we're not even halfway through the first half here, let's have less of that and give plays. Listen, you're always running the risk. 6 agains, again, they kill you. You don't know. I mean, we got a couple of 6 agains as well, so you can't complain about the numbers. But that's us putting ourselves in a position.
It's almost with the 6 agains. It's almost they wouldn't be a penalty. A lot of the ones that get given, and then the ones where they are completely deliberate, where teams on the first tackle, when they've got you pinned on your own try line and they lie on for ages, knowing that, do you know what, they'll set the defensive line and they'll get themselves and they won't be susceptible to any sort of like counter attack. Yeah. They're the ones that you should get a penalty for on the first tackle, so you can take yourself 25 metres downfield. The rule might have been good in principle, but it is very poorly executed.
It is, and listen, we've done that well on that last set, where we've held somebody down.
Well, 6 to give a penalty away.
Yeah,
what he had to do.
Yeah, we give a penalty away. Then we're really, really slow getting off the tackled man, and it's what you need to do, and it's what teams. Yeah, and it's what teams do. It is what teams do. I'm not going to complain too much about it this week, because listen, we've used that to our advantage. That they're not going to get a penalty. They'll wipe it clean, but when the ball goes down, as it did with the knock on, or you get tackled, it's game over. Yeah. So
can we just talk about Morgan Knowles, by the way?
Yes.
Oh. So, minutes on the clock, you're 5 metres off the opposition try line, 14-10 up. Does Jack Wellesby need to try and throw the wonder ball?
No.
Well, the answer was no, because Salford intercept, go 90 metres. At that point, do you see anybody stopping the Salford try and Salford bouncing? Which, can I just say, by the way, that Salford bounce from that away end, there was only maybe 250, which I thought was a good effort from them tonight. The bounce when they levelled the game up, I thought was very, very good.
Yes, yeah.
But you thought they were going to... They must have thought at that point that their 40-odd year...
Atkin, I think
their 40-odd year hoodoo was over. And then Morgan Knowles, like a young Jay Fields. No, sorry, he can't defend, can he?
He can, but he's not as good as they're making out yet. He needs time.
But what a man. After 80 minutes to race 90 metres and make that tackle, which wins Saints the game.
Absolutely, yeah, tremendous effort.
We're not re-reffing it, we're not re-man of the matching it, but we're taking it off James Roby and we're giving it to Morgan Knowles.
Well, no, I'm not going to. No, I'd still leave it with Robes. But that effort, that's it. And that's what epitomises, that's what your defence is instilled into you. And listen, we have someone who messages on Twitter and turns around and wants a double winning coach sacked and says we shouldn't...
Banned him.
Have you? Good. And we shouldn't have... we shouldn't be proud of the defence. We're a Saints team. We should be looking to attack. You defend well and you don't concede as many points as the other team, guess what? You're going to go away with the win. You're going to pick up the pots at the end of the year and you're going to be in the top 2. It's not rocket science, is it?
Obviously, the combinations we went for tonight, Hopoati fullback, Wellesby Lomax in the halves. Obviously, that was the plan for the end of the year. What's the plan for next week? Do we have a whip round to crowdfund Danny Moss's wages for the rest of the year?
Yes.
So we can get him out of whatever job he does Monday to Friday, and he can become full time at the club.
Yes. Yeah. Listen, I was speaking to one of our mates, Gaz, at half time, and I don't think Danny Moss will play more than 6 times for us this year. But you know what? They might be 6 crucial games, and he could come in next week. I think the game might be a bit big for him next week.
I think next week the plan now is probably going to be back to
Roby and Wellesby in the house.
It worked at Huddersfield. Who goes to fullback? Makinson. Sim stays in the wing. Hopefully Regan Grace comes back in.
Yeah, Harrell in the centres. Then you've got a decision on, depending on if anyone gets banned. We can always put Sione there. He's in an RL centre. Sione can play centre. We miss him.
This is assuming Percy's fit as well. And not banned.
Not banned. Yeah, that's what I said.
Davies and Harrell in the centres. Sim and Grace on the wings. Makinson fullback.
Yeah.
Wellesby and Roby in the halves.
Yeah.
Musuck 9. There you go. Job done. There's the preview show. Saved us another job.
But this again goes back to your first point of we're now worried about who's going to get banned. And listen, if we look back and see that Percival challenge is a bad one, hold your hands up and say, I can see why he's been banned for it. It's as simple as that, isn't it?
Wigan have got a good win tonight at Warrington, 40 points to 22. So if you're going to watch it on Sky, record when you got home. Sorry.
Spoiler alert, too late.
Spoiler alert. The game next week for me, given our injury situation and the bans, is probably now a true 50-50.
Yeah, it probably is. And I think
which Derby should always be.
Yeah, they should. But we've had games where we've absolutely blown them out the water. They've had games where they've blown us out of the water. Listen, all the players will still be going in with the same training, the same attitude instilled into them. Whether they've got the same skill set because they haven't got the experience of a Mark Percival, will say, or a Johnny Lomax.
Maybe we're going to get 5 bans off tonight's game.
Jyfield's gone off ill at half time, so
nothing a bit of Imodium won't sort out.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know what else you want me to say to that, to be fair.
Does it do the job, Kev?
Yeah, I believe so. Well, I knew he... There's a joke about running quick here. So.
We're just guessing. We don't know what he's got off with.
No. But that's it. Listen, you say...
He's got quick runs.
Yeah, it'll be... he's not a cricketer. You say it'll be more 50-50. It probably will.
Has he got the 2?
No. It's descending into farce this now. Where's Redvee TV Junior? Come on.
Banned. Yeah, she can't get the ending right.
No, fair enough.
Wasted smudge.
Listen, them two, the two halfbacks are the keys for us, because our forwards have now got a good set of minutes in the legs. Sione's had a good run out there. Hopefully, nothing has kind of flared up from him. It's the halfbacks. I knew you're going to play at halfback because it's another combination, and you can see today. Listen, the Castleford game. Was it right to rest all them players? Still, yes, for me. You still need
because we probably would have picked probably another couple of 2-match bans. Look at the first team players that we did leave in. Benison, who's now first team player, and James Bell. One got a 2-match ban and one got a fractured cheekbone.
Yeah, well,
listen, it can happen any time.
Yeah, of course it can. But listen,
we won.
We won. And it was a horrible win. It was a horrible win. But at the end of the day,
still top of the table.
Yeah, exactly. And you could see in that game that it was one of them that we've got lads back in. They needed minutes in the legs. That's the type of game that you just need to get over the line. Sorry, I'm not bothered. I've got a massive head. It looks like they're
bigger than mine.
Pound for pound, yours is bigger. It's just I'm fatter. It was about getting combinations right today, and unfortunately we've not been able to.
I don't think we learned very much. No. I don't think Christian Wolfe will have learned very much from tonight.
Not at all.
Except Morgan Knowles after 80 minutes can still sprint.
Yeah.
The plus side of playing the kids at Cast last week was you can find out. We found out who's ready to go when they're needed potentially for a semi-final.
Yeah, well that's it, and that's what games like that are for. And
Ben Davis, by the way, great again tonight.
Oh yeah, he was great. Scored a good try as well. A bit over enthusiastic with that tackle. But again, you can see why he's been in and around that 21-man squad. Why he's been 18th, 19th man a couple of times. You can see that. You understand why. But listen, as you say, tonight we're not going to have learnt anything. We're going to have to mix up our combinations again. Next week is just about getting through. you've just got to get through. You've got to keep defending, hope something kind of shows itself in attack. Hopefully something clicks. If we can leave Jack Wellsby in the halves instead of having him defending at full-back and attacking at 6, that'd be a help, because then he can just concentrate on one part of his game. I just think it shows what a young man Jack Wellsby is, that he could do both. I mean, yeah, he's thrown that, I'm going to call it a horror ball with a minute left.
Just pull it down, take the tackle.
Yeah, just take the tackle. Keep rolling it in.
Maybe before we were 18-10 up, maybe just couldn't count.
Make it. Oh, he's trying to kill the game, isn't he? By us.
No,
Try.
he's trying to kill a game by handing it to them.
But yeah.
Not so super Jack in that moment. That said, I think we're done and dusted, Kev.
Yeah.
We will be back next week because, Kev, I feel a semi coming on. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.